on the broadcast, and we would like to take live updates as well. Dr. Jackie Faherty is joining us, curator and astrophysicist, American Museum of Natural History. Thank you very much, Dr. Jackie. This is a historic moment. I mean, it's 5:30 in the morning in India time that we expected this splashdown to happen, and we're all up bright and early to watch this historic moment. And what a milestone that has been achieved. What are your thoughts, Dr. Jackie?
Oh, I think it's amazing. My thoughts, well, I'm an astronomer, an astrophysicist, but I'm just a human too that cares about humanity taking this next step. And it's very exciting to see human beings once again on a pretty strong trajectory for getting back to the moon. So I think that it's just a very inspiring mission, and many, many people across all nations are really excited to see humans taking the step.
Absolutely, because NASA has aptly put it across, calling it, the ambassadors of humanity to the stars. But do you believe that there were any terrifying or challenging moments for you in this entire mission now that it is over and it has been accomplished? But Artemis II has made it, when it comes to the most intense heat of that re-entry and the mission control that was re-established. And that is where probably, we took a sigh of relief.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 points of really tension, or where people tend to get very scared, are on launch and then on return. So launch is probably where I was most nervous, because that's a pretty big moment for a rocket that we've never launched people in before. But re-entry always comes with some moments of question. But everything that I've seen so far, it looks like this is it's not necessarily picture perfect. They may have lost a little bit of communication for a little bit of time, but that's not that big of a deal. But it seems nearly picture perfect. This is a really wonderful step for the SLS rocket.
Dr. Jackie, do you believe that this is also a huge moment? I mean, practically since the launch, NASA and the astronauts themselves have said that this is a moment that would bring them a big sigh of relief, because the recovery efforts are also underway. But this seems to be, setting up NASA's lunar exploration program to tackle its next big step. So what do you believe what's going to happen next?
Yeah, I mean, the next step is really interesting, frankly. So instead of Artemis III being a crewed mission to land on the moon, they've decided to make Artemis III, which should happen next year, a crewed mission in low Earth orbit to test out the landers. And for that, there's a competition. It's a competition between two different private space companies that are both vying to get the lander: Blue Origin, which is Jeff Bezos's company, and SpaceX, which is Elon Musk. So I think phase 3, Artemis 3, is really exciting, because it is this thing we've never had before, which is a real collaboration between the private industry and NASA. And then Artemis 4 in 2 years, that one everybody should be glued to their screen for. That will be the real return of humans to the moon. So I'm looking forward to both phases, frankly, both the reconnaissance with the landers and to see what plays out there with which private industry gets the contract. But also I want to see a human on the moon again.
Oh, absolutely. And what were your thoughts when you saw those pictures? I mean, right from Earth-set photo from Artemis II, do you believe that also echoed Apollo 8's iconic Earthrise that happened in that historic lunar flyby?
Yeah, the Earthrise is just a picture for the generation, for the ages, for humanity. To see Earth from that perspective, I just think it makes you step back from all the things that are happening on the world and realize that we're just these tiny little beings locked to this rock floating around in space. And it's something that you can say, but you feel it when you see Earthrise. And it's our first Earthrise image that we've had since the Apollo missions. So I was psyched when I saw that, but also their trip around the backside of the moon, they got to see with their eyes a part of the moon that the Apollo astronauts didn't see, because the moon was in a phase that the Apollo astronauts didn't have when they went around the backside. So that was also really exciting.
Oh, absolutely. And this is an experience that they hold only with themselves for a lifetime. But what do you believe that the mission, tested when it comes to these critical systems aboard the Orion spacecraft? I mean, what are we looking at? Life support, navigation, communication in deep space?
Yeah, all of that was tested. So Artemis I was launched with everything that the astronauts had aboard for Artemis II except life support. So this is the first test of life support and how well it went. I mean, everybody's heard about the toilet. The toilet didn't function like they expected it to, but it does seem like that doesn't seem like the worst thing to have gone wrong. It feels like much that they tested went really well. So the Orion spacecraft, the SLS rocket in general, I think it's a big win for that rocket.
And many firsts that what we are looking at, on this mission, earlier which faced a lot of challenges, but why it actually matters as far as this entire mission is also concerned, the farthest distance that has been traveled by humans, the first woman to go beyond low Earth orbit. We are also looking at first non-American to also reach deep space. This seems to be historic milestones that seems to have been achieved when it comes to space exploration.
Oh, yeah. I think that the reason why NASA also has called this mission Artemis is Apollo is the god of the sun and has a twin sister, the goddess of the moon. But it's his twin sister. So Apollo for NASA was a celebration of many, many difficult things, but it was largely men that got to do it. I mean, 12 men got to step upon the moon. All the folks that got to go to the moon, whether they just orbited, that was all men. But Artemis is an invitation to expand who gets to go. And so that's also the power of the name. Artemis is a very powerful name. I think it means something. She's the goddess of the hunt, goddess of the moon. So let's celebrate that there's diversity in our exploration of the cosmos right now, our exploration of the moon. So I'm looking at all the little girls that are running around outside. Well, you guys in India, it's 5:30 in the morning. I don't know if anybody's outside, but I think kids running around outside right now, the little girls get an invitation that they can go to the moon too, just like all little boys did in the Apollo.
Absolutely, it's an inspiration. Last question, Dr. Jackie, because this has now put the United States in a significant lead when it comes to global space race to build a long-term human presence on moon. Do you believe that it potentially opened doors for international collaboration, including participation from agencies like ISRO?
Yes, definitely. And I am really impressed with ISRO and India's take in the space race. So I think you can just tell, frankly, they're opening the door for private industry to have their handle on the lander. They want to collaborate. I think it is an open door of collaboration right now. The Lunar X Prize, I don't know how much everybody followed this, but that is built into why we're at this point right now and why there is so much private industry. There was an attempt to really make international collaboration, and many people from different countries tried to make a lander. So I think NASA is extremely open to the idea of collaboration on this. So I can't speak for NASA because I don't work for NASA. I work for the American Museum of Natural History in New York City.
Right.
But it looks very open to me.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Jackie. Appreciate you joining us here on the broadcast. Thank you very much for taking out your time. Thank you again. All right. In the